This is the Tyee Ridge Fire Lookout. Last year I had read that this lookout was going to be decommissioned and then set aside for people to reserve to come up here and camp. It doesn't look like that's happened yet. That is a little brick enclosure where the Forest Service would put a propane tank. You see that pipe coming down under the rocks there? That was the propane line. So typically these fire lookouts would have a propane operated refrigerator and a propane operated stove, like something you'd see out of an RV generally. That's what I've seen in the past. But I sure would not want to drive a vehicle up that road. A Jeep with a lift kit and big tires maybe, but not much else other than that, I don't think. All the different times I've been up to this fire lookout, I don't think I've ever seen it staffed. It's a pretty amazing view from up here. That is the Indiat River Road. Looking down, that's looking down towards Indiat. That high peak straight ahead, the Stormy Mountain. And there's a trail that goes up to that. And then it continues down to the left across that ridge. This is all ground wire for lightning rods up at the top. Looking straight out ahead, right over the top of this tree, that is Sugarloaf Lookout. I rode by there this morning. They're way out in the distance. I'm not sure exactly where. There's another fire lookout that's called the Alpine Lookout. That plume of smoke is the Chickaman fire that started early Friday morning during a lightning storm. I've been up to the Alpine Lookout twice. One time, the first time it was manned. I don't think it was the second time I was up there. Lightning rod right on the peak of that roof. All of those wires go to a central point. And they're connected to a ground rod. It's amazing to see the dynamics of how a fire burns, like those three patches out there. The ground and everything just got completely incinerated. See how around the perimeter you started to have some standing trees that were blackened, and then you get areas where you have trees that still have all their burnt pine needles and everything. There was a couple of areas like that off to the left as I was riding up here. a U.S. Geological Survey marker. The date is stamped 1940. Yeah, there's some of the propane lines up there. I don't know what that other line is, though. Huh. Not real sure. Oh, I see. That's a bolt and an anchor. It's attached to the side of the lookout. Right there, you can see it in the middle. Remnants of old paint. I see some gray and some white and some green little spots there. You can see a few paint chips over here that are green. And here's another one of those anchor bolts. This lookout's been repainted within the last few years. Kind of looks like our ground wire goes down the hill. Right through this little path where I'm walking. Well, then it disappears. That structure straight ahead with an antenna and some solar panels, that's some sort of a radio tower, radio repeater station or something along those lines. No idea what this was, but it served a purpose back in its day. Interesting. Definitely need to soften up the suspension on this KTM in this rough stuff. With the suspension being set so stiff, I was ricocheting off of a bunch of those rocks instead of the suspension absorbing. That's an outhouse down there. I'm going to take a different route down off this lookout. Back on the road just a little ways, less than a quarter of a mile, there's basically a little switchback and there's a trailhead there. There's two trails that take off from up here. One of them is the Tyee Ridge Trail, and then I think the other one is called the Billy Ridge Trail. The Billy Ridge Trail drops down the hill and connects to one of those side roads that would have come down on the left side as I was coming up, so I think that's the trail I'm going to take. I've been down that multiple times, probably up it once too, and it's a fairly tame and easy trail.